Welcome to another episode on our channel and part 2 of how to make a table, 1/6 scale out of whatever you have on hand, but more specifically using bamboo chopsticks as legs. This is an unintentional necessary part 2 because plan A, which was part 1, failed spectacularly. Structurally, it just didn't work. The legs didn't take stain, the bamboo. I contemplated not even putting it up. I thought, you know what? You can learn from mistakes. I can make the mistakes so you don't have to. Biggest mistake, and that I had no idea that would happen, was cutting a bamboo chopstick on a chop saw at a 45-degree angle would cause the chopstick to explode. It cut nice like this, just a hot knife, literally almost like a hot knife through butter. But even with a brand new out-of-the-box blade, 90 tooth, boom, it just shattered. So what is plan B? I really hope there's no plan C. So what's plan B? Well, plan B, I sort of put in place right after I finish shooting and editing the part A. I had some pallet wood. Well, I'm going to say left over. I scored some more pallet wood, red oak this time. Surprisingly good pallet from the staging area next door. I still had to glue two pieces together, edges to edge. And in order to get one, it's a bit too wide. It's the right length, 6 inches, but I'm going to need to rip it right here. So that's 4 by 6. Okay, that's no big deal. Once I do have it ripped, I'll go through and put a faux or fake trim around it. So, you know how it is when you got a table and it's a little bit of an overhang and there's trim underneath the table, or underneath the tabletop, I should say. So I kind of tried to fake that. But here's the thing. I'm going to drill this thing out and sink those legs so that at least it won't collapse under its own weight. Should be fairly straightforward. Another thing I'm going to do is that I've already, let me get this thing. I've already hand planed this side of it. It's the side you weren't going to see because of the holes that are already there. And that'll be hidden. These are just nail holes from when the pallet was together. So as of yet to use my power planer, by the way. So this is just an old Stanley number 5. I have no idea how old this thing is. It's not ancient, but it's from the Victor series. It was kind of their lower end offering. May have even been offered through Sears, now that I think about it. Let me think on that. But bottom line is, this is not a top of a line Stanley plane. It's a number 5 plane. It's sometimes referred to as a jack plane. You've heard the expression jack of all trades, master of none. Well, that's sort of what a number 5 does. It does, you can use it for smoothing, you can use it for joinery. It just doesn't do either one as well as, say, a number 3 for smoothing, or a number 8 or larger for joining edges of wood. But I like it. It's a good all-around plane. Takes practice to learn to use. I'm by no means a master using it. If you want to master somebody as a master, check out Paul Sellers. He's a Englishman transplanted to the United States, and the man is a master at woodworking. As many of English were, and apparently still are. I'm guessing he's about my age, early mid 60s. So I got that side planed off nice and smooth, which kind of leaves me with this side. I got to thinking, you know what? Somebody made a comment on the when I was showing the big box plane that I never end up unboxing. It was basically a how-to on how to find the $129 plane. It was on sale over the holiday season. That's gone to the best of my knowledge. So what I did do though was buy this. I got it on sale. Have not taken it out of the box yet. I have no idea how this thing is going to work. It's called a random orbital sander. Now, I did have a palm sound, a vibrating palm sound sander, but it died. The switch broke or didn't work anymore. So I'm going to try this on the back side of this to see how well it smooths things out. And I'm going to do it for any number of reasons. But what inspired me was that somebody mentioned in the comments that they would love to have a planer, a power planer for their dioramas. But even though it folds up and doesn't have a real big footprint, they were concerned about the noise that it would make for when they put together a diorama using different pieces of wood, and they always have to just sand the living daylights out of it by hand. It was a hassle, and the dust, and it's just a hassle. But I think I'm going to try this thing on the backside of that. But first, let's go out to the here we go, kitty cat. And let's not interrupt. She could have waited until the segue. So let's go outside and cut this thing down, and I'll also cut the faux overhang, the fake overhang. It is still incredibly windy here. You've probably heard about the fires in Southern California. Those are in Los Angeles.
Here's some info about California.
And that was my cat walking over the laptop my MacBook Pro I use for a monitor, and activating Siri. Oh, I'm such a distractible individual. Anyway, cat is not helping. Anyway, as I was saying, it is windy here. My solar panels are just covered in dust, and that's a nuisance, barely a nuisance compared to what the folks about 80 miles from here are going through in the LA County, down on the coast, around Santa Monica and stuff. Loss of life, structures. If you're so inclined, reach out to your favorite nonprofit organization and give those folks a hand. Mother Nature really screwed us over this time. Usually don't get the Santa Ana winds this early in the year, or this late in the year, depending on your point of view. They usually come around October, maybe November. That's when we start worrying about Santa Anas. No, they showed up in December and January, and the doggone things are still blowing. So, end of rant. Let's go outside and cut some wood.
Okay, first thing we're going to do is to rip that 6-inch piece of wood so that it is 4 inches wide. Now I'm going to set my blade depth to about 5/8 of an inch and make a cut down the side about 1/4 of an inch in. And what that's going to do is provide the initial cut for the overhang. And I'll do the same to the ends. And then I'll just pop off the residue. I had to make 2 swipes to get the 1/4 of an inch. Put down some double-sided woodworker's tape. I've never used it before. You should use painter's tape on both sides, and then use super glue to glue it together. But as you can see, it works well enough for me to clean up the sides with a chisel, and it also works well enough to hold down the wood for use with the orbital sander. And the last step is just to drill 4 1/4-inch holes in the material. And now for the experiment. I soaked the bamboo for about an hour, and now I'll pop the bamboo legs into the oven, start out cold, let it heat up to 350 degrees, and then I'll pull them out.
And there you go. One genuine doll size, G.I. Joe size, Barbie size, 1/6 scale action figure size table. Hopefully you'll see this in another episode. Not another episode on how to make this thing, but she'll use it in another episode with a action figure that she's putting together. Obviously, I'm a lot happier this time with the outcome. I kind of wish I hadn't posted the other video, actually, but you know, hopefully you learned from my mistake or series of mistakes, actually. So, family member said it kind of reminded her of shaker style furniture because the legs kind of come to a very tapered point. I guess. I guess it kind of reminds me of that. Or she was just being gracious, one or the other. Again, it did work in terms of opening up the pores. Soaking in water did open it up. Drying it, I think I didn't do a compared contrast, kind of an experiment to see if drying it out fast sped up or accentuated the opening up of the pores of the legs for the bamboo chopsticks. But perhaps I'll refine my technique and get back with you, or not. But anyway, I hope you've liked what you've seen. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up, hitting the subscribe button. In the meantime, everyone, have a good day.